Today, the lesson we are going to learn is final accounts. Final accounts. Business and Accounting Studies, 4th chapter, final accounts. Okay. Right. What is this final accounts? In another word, the final accounts are named as financial statements. Financial statements. Now, we are studying in school, in classes, we are studying. In schools, they are keeping exams. They are keeping exams to evaluate ourselves whether we understand or not. The exams, first term, second term, monthly exam, all these are kept for to find out the progress of us, whether the students are progressing, whether the students are progressing, whether they are developing their studies, whether they are understanding the lessons. So we need an exam to find out whether we are progressing. I have planned, I have done 2 A-level online exams. Now I am planning to have an online exam for grade 11 also uh, in few days. I will inform you the date and the time. Okay, online exam. So you can use by your phone and you can do it on the spot. Raihan, why I keeping lines with her is so final accounts of financial statement. So we need some evaluation methods to find the progress. That's what the exams are kept. So what is the final accounts or else financial statement? These are the statements prepared to find out the progress of a business. Progress of a business. Progress of a business. Whether the business is progressing, whether it is earning profit or is it running in loss. So everyone take down the notes, my dear. Financial statements means, write the notes, okay? Financial statement means statements prepared to evaluate the business. To evaluate the business. Evaluate means finding profit loss, position, that means asset liability equity, profit loss, position mean profit loss. Financial statements means statements prepared to evaluate the business. Evaluate the business. Evaluation means finding the profit loss, finding asset liability, equity, the position we say. Profit loss and position. Right. So when we go further some more, we will understand very easily what is this evaluation mean, right? So final accounts mean these are statements prepared to evaluate the business. Okay. Under that, we are coming to a new heading called gross profit. Gross profit. Gross profit means profit earned by selling goods. Remember carefully, profit earned by selling goods. Abdul Rahman drew some lines. Please delete that. Abdul Rahman, delete that. Otherwise, I will remove you. So, financial statements when we prepare, first of all, gross profit. What profit? Gross profit. Gross profit mean profit earned by selling shares. Profit earned by selling shares. Sorry, by selling goods. By selling goods, I'm sorry. Profit earned by selling goods is called what? Gross profit. Gross profit. So if you take a insurance company, they are not selling goods, right? So they don't have any gross profit. Insurance company don't have the gross profit because they are not selling goods. Likewise, saloon, they are cutting hair, trimming hair. They are not selling any goods in the saloon. Therefore, they don't have gross profit. They are providing service. A school has no gross profit. A tuition class, they don't have gross profit. A transport company, they are providing transport. They don't have good gross profit. Why? They are not selling gross profit. But if you take a vegetable seller, he has gross profit because he is buying and selling goods, vegetables. Coconut seller has a gross profit because he is buying and selling goods, that is the coconut. So gross profit means profit earned by selling goods. Service providing organization has no gross profit. Okay, everyone? Right. So how do we calculate this gross profit? Gross profit, the calculation will be gross profit equals to Shahim Yatra Mardana, please delete this arrow. Gross profit equals to sales minus cost of sales. Sales minus cost of sales. Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. For example, a coconut seller bought coconut for 50,000 rupees. Coconut for 50,000 rupees. And he sold all these coconut for 70,000 rupees. So he bought for 50,000, sold it for 70,000. Bought for 50,000, sold it for 70,000. Therefore, he has earned a gross profit of 20,000 rupees. Sales 70,000, the cost of the sales 50,000, that is the gross profit 20,000 rupees. Another person, vegetable seller, bought vegetables for 5,000 and he sold all the vegetables for 7,000 rupees. Bought for 5, sold it for 7,000. How much the sales? 7,000. Cost of sales 5,000. So his gross profit 2,000. Any doubt? If anyone have doubt, you can ask. Calculate gross profit by using the following information. Number 1, sales 45, cost of sales 30. Don't worry, student. At once you don't learn everything. Little by little we are learning. So no worries. Just you go through the equation and start learning. You will do it easily, right? So how much the gross profit here? 45 minus 30. Your gross profit is equal to sales minus cost of sales. Your gross profit equals to 15,000 rupees. 15,000 rupees. Okay. Can you calculate the gross profit for this, everyone? Sales 15,000, cost of sales 6,000. Therefore, your gross profit is rupees 9,000. Can you find out the answer for this, everyone, quickly? Understand easily. You all can understand easily. Turnover means sales. Turnover means sales. 22. Cost of goods sold 10. Therefore, your gross profit is 12,000. Now, the challenge is not this, my dear. Your challenge is the next question, fourth one. Let's see who answer first and correct. Let's see. Fourth question. Come on. In this question, you have two sales, cash sales, credit sales. So our total sales will be 60,000. Your total cost of sales 50,000. There can be 15 sales. Day by day sales are coming. So you can keep calculate different gross profit. We have to add all the sales together. Add the total sales 60,000. At the total cost of sales 50,000. Therefore, what is your gross profit? Rupees 10,000. Rupees 10,000. Total sales 60,000. Total sales 60,000 and total cost of sales. Total sales, total cost of sales. Total sales 60, total cost of sales 50. Therefore, your gross profit is 10,000. Any doubt? Is cost of sales. As I told you here earlier, there is a sales and there is a cost of sales. For example, a vegetable seller bought vegetables for 50,000 rupees. He bought vegetables for 50,000 rupees. He sold all these vegetables for 70 or 80 or whatever, no problem. So if he sold out all these vegetables, his cost of sales become 50,000 because he bought those vegetables for 50,000. Sometimes he may sell it for 60, sometimes for 70, sometimes for 40 in loss. But whatever the sales come, no problem. His cost of sales is 50,000 because he bought it for 50,000. So cost of sales should be calculated when we calculating this gross profit, because to calculate the gross profit we need cost of sales. Okay. Now I will give you an example. Everyone listen carefully and tell me the answer at the end. Tell me the answer at the end. Uh, egg seller, an egg seller bought 500 eggs. How many eggs? 500 eggs. Morning he opened the shop, he kept 500 eggs. People come and buy eggs. One bought 10, another one bought 20, another one bought 15, another one bought 25, another one bought 50, another one bought 100, another one bought 110, another one bought 2, another one bought 15. Right. Can you tell me now how many eggs is sold now, up to now? How many eggs is sold up to now? Sir, repeat the question, or else don't know, or else can't understand. Because the reason is that's not the easy way to calculate the number of units sold. Okay, I will tell you one more example, easy way to find the number of eggs sold. Okay, now listen carefully and write carefully. A person opening a shop in the morning. There are 10 coconuts in the shop. Note it clearly. When he is opening the shop in the morning, there are 10 coconuts in the shop. He know the coconuts are not enough, so he went to market, he opened the shop and kept his employee. So he opened the shop, he kept his employee in the shop and he went to market and bought 50 coconuts. Already in the morning, how many coconuts were there? 10. How many coconuts he bought from market? 50 coconuts. Now he keeps selling. Some people buy, some people come and 2, 3, some are buying 5, some are buying 10, some are returning the coconuts, some are taking 12, like that he bought. People come and buy. End of the day, while he's closing the shop, there are 5 coconuts balance. There are 5 coconuts balance. Now, can you tell me how many coconuts he sold during the day? So the answer is 55 coconut. Now this method is easy. You all quickly respond to me. So this is easy for you to calculate. This method is easy for you to calculate. So how did we find that number of coconuts sold? That is, we take it as cost of sales, for example. How did we find? We took how many coconuts were there in the shop in the morning. How many coconuts were there at the morning in the shop? There were 10. We call it opening stock. How do you call? Opening stock. Take down the equation, everyone. Huh? Opening stock. Then he bought 50 coconuts. We say purchase. So we will add that purchase to opening stock. This is how you did. I didn't do. You only send answer 55. We add the total 60 and we see end of the day how many coconuts remaining. We call closing stock, that you remove from this total. 5 you remove, so you got 55. So everyone, my dear, how do we calculate the cost of sales? Cost of sales equals to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. How do we calculate the cost of sales? Cost of sales equals to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Do anyone have doubt in this? What is the equation for cost of sales? Cost of sales equal opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. closing stock. Okay, let's see a question now. Let's see a question. Calculate cost of sales by using the following information. Right? This is the question I have given you. We will go to the answer. The cost of sales is 60,000 rupees. 60,000 rupees. Let's see this question. Yes. Can I have the answer? Opening stock. Stocks on 1/1/2018 is the beginning of the year. 1/1/2018 is the beginning of the year. So beginning of the year means it is opening stock. 31st December 2018 is the end of the year. That is the closing stock. That is the closing stock. So opening stock, closing stock, and purchase. So if you apply in the equation, opening stock 4,000, purchase 41,000, so total 45, minus closing stock 15. So your answer is 30,000 rupees. Very good. Okay, let's try this question. Yes. See the answer. Opening stock 1/1/2020 16,000. Purchase 84. If you add these two together, your opening stock plus purchase 100,000 minus 20,000 minus 20. So your answer is 80,000 rupees. Let's try this quickly, everyone. Give me the answer. You have opening stock 42,000, purchase 63,000, and closing stock 15,000. Therefore, the cost of sales is 90,000 rupees. Right. So students, you will understand very well. I can realize that your answers quick response to the questions. Let's see the next question. Okay. Right. Calculate the gross profit by using the following information. Okay, this is our question. Yes. Can I have the answer? In this question, you have to calculate the cost of sales first. Cost of sales. First, we see the equation once again. Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. Cost of sales equal opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Now, when we come to the answer, first we calculate the cost of sale. When we come to the cost of sale, the cost of sales equal opening stock 20 plus purchase 70, total 90, and minus the closing stock 10. So cost of sales become 80. Since the cost of sales is 80, your gross profit equals to sales minus cost of sale. Gross profit equal sales minus cost of sale. Sales 95,000, cost of sales 80,000. So your gross profit become 15,000 rupees. Let's see the answer. The opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock, your cost of sales is 60,000. Opening stock 11, purchase 80. So opening stock plus purchase 91 minus closing stock 31, it is 60. The cost of sales 60. Then the gross profit is also 60,000 because the sales is 120. Good. So let's try the next question. Yes, find out the profit, gross profit. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Your cost of sales become 80,000. Cost of sales become 80,000. Opening stock 11, purchase 85, so 96. 96 minus 16 closing stock. 96 minus 16 closing stock. Therefore, 80,000 is your cost of sales. 80,000 is the cost of sales. Okay. Therefore, the gross profit will be 20,000 rupees since the sales is 100,000 rupees. Okay, try this question, everyone. Let's see. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Your cost of sales equals to opening stock 9,000. Purchase, there are two, cash and credit, both together 2072 plus 1385. So 94 minus 90, 104, 75,000 rupees. Is the cost of sales 75,000? Yes. Then sales. When you take the sales, we have to take both the sales, cash and credit, total 100,000. 100,000 sales minus 75, your gross profit become 25. Some students, they quickly, when they add, they make addition mistake. Sometimes it may affect your affect your uh, answer. These lines I have reviewed, right? No problem. There I have marked this to explain you. No problem, right? So it is 75 cost of sales and the gross profit 25,000. So students, can you all understand this? I'm going to wind up the class now. It's over now. The time up. So can anyone have doubt? If anyone have doubt. This is the last question we discuss, my dear students. Now we are coming to the new section. Today we are going to learn a new section, that is carriage inwards. Carriage inwards. You have to take the notes now. Everyone write it down after when I am telling you, write it down. Okay. Now listen to the point. Carriage inwards. Most of you all have heard this word in grade 10 itself. In grade 10, you have learned uh, petty cash book. When you learn petty cash book, you got this word carriage inwards, and we record that carriage inwards under uh, ledger column. Many students ask the question, why sir we are recording carriage inwards under ledger column? It's a transport expense now, sir. Today only you are going to learn what is actually carriage inwards, why we record under the ledger column, not under normal transport column. Okay, my dear student, listen to this carefully. Okay, now you are going to PETA. You are going to PETA to buy some goods. To buy some goods. You bought goods worth around 20,000 rupees. So it's a huge amount, 20,000 rupees. You bought a lot of goods. So you can't carry that goods from PETA to your home or else your shop, those 20,000 goods in your hand. It's very difficult for you. So what you do is you hire a three-wheel. You hire a three-wheel and you pay the three-wheel 500 rupees and you are taking those goods, 20,000 worth goods to your place. In this place, you bought goods for 20,000. That is called purchase. That is called purchase. You pay to 500 rupees. You pay 500 rupees for three-wheel to carry the goods what you purchase from PETA to your place. From PETA to your place. That 500 three-wheel charges is called carriage inwards. Carriage inwards. Carriage inwards. So what is carriage inwards mean? Transport expense you spend to bring the purchase goods to your place. Can you note it down, everyone? Can you note it down? What is expense? Loading expense. Now, as I said, you went to PETA, for example. You bought 100 kilograms of rice. 100 kilograms of rice. Now, I know sure 100% there is no, even one of my student can carry the 100 kilograms of rice from PETA to your place. There is no one like that. I don't have any Hulk in my class. Even I can't. So, what you do is you have hire a small lorry or a van to bring those 100 kilograms of rice to your place. So, if you hire a vehicle and you pay the vehicle charges, right? For the vehicle, for the lorry, you pay a charge rupees 1,000 rupees. How do we call that 1,000? That is called carriage inwards. That already we done. Okay, who will take these rides from the shop to your vehicle? Can you? No. There are people working for that, right? There are employees, workers working in that method. Huh? So what you do is, right? So loading expense mean the person who carrying the goods from the shop to the vehicle. For him, you are paying 100 rupees. What do you call that? Loading expense. Again, you came by the vehicle to your place. From the vehicle, you have to unload the goods to your place, right? So what you do is the vehicle driver or vehicle the we call golea vehicle helper, we say, he is helping you to take the goods from vehicle to your house, unloading. Okay, you, for him also you are paying 100. To take the goods to vehicle, you paid 100 to one person. Now to unload from vehicle to your place, you are paying another 100. These 200 rupees we call loading expense. For van or the lorry, you have paid 1,000. That is carriage inwards. For loading the goods to vehicle and unloading to your place, you pay 200. That is called loading expense. What is the point of this carriage inwards and loading expenses are coming to this place? Why did we write the carriage inwards under ledger column in the petty cash book? That's the main question now. It's running in your mind. I hope so. If you are in the class, it will run now. The reason behind that, my dear, we will see. See the question. I have given a question. The question is calculate the gross profit. So I hope you remember last week we discussed gross profit, net profit, gross profit and cost of sales. First of all, we will calculate the cost of sales. Everyone, can you repeat the equation? Cost of sales equals, if you get carriage inwards, my dear, that should be added to purchase. So carriage inwards is not a normal transport expense. If you write in petty cash book under normal transport expense, you can't take it separately. We maintain under ledger column to maintain a separate account for that, because now when we calculating the profit, we have to add the carriage inwards to purchase, separately the carriage inwards to be taken to the purchase, add the carriage inwards to purchase. Do anyone have last week? In addition to the last week explanation, we have added the carriage inwards to the purchase. So our cost of sales becomes 60. Take that cost of sales over here. So sales minus cost of sales, your gross profit is 40,000 rupees. And this is the question, my dear. And loading expense, as we add the carriage inwards, we have to add the loading expense also to purchase. Find out the cost of sales and gross profit. Send me the answer, only the gross profit, only the. Let's try. Cost of sales equals to opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. How much the opening stock? 1/1/2020, 25,000. Purchase 63,000. Closing stock 31st December 2020, 23,000. In addition to these three, there is a loading expense 5,000. Loading expense will be added to purchase 5,000. Loading expense will be added to purchase 5,000. Therefore, your cost of sales become 70,000. Am I correct? 93 minus 23. If you add these three together, my dear, you will be getting 70,000. And you deduct 23. Cost of sales 70,000. So the gross profit equals to sales minus cost of sales. Sales minus cost of sales. Sales minus cost of sales. Sales 85, cost of sales 70. Well done, my dear student. Your answer is 15,000. Very good. Next question. The next question is this. Quickly send me the answer. Are you correct? Ready? Cost of sales equals opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. 1/1/2020 opening stock 18, purchase 90, closing stock 12, carriage inwards 4,000 will be added to purchase. Loading expense 10,000 also will be added to purchase. Therefore, 90, 90, 104, 122 minus 12, 110 is your cost of sales. Cost of sales. Then we come to the gross profit. Gross profit equal sales minus cost of sales. Sales minus cost of sales. So sales 125,000. Cost of sales 110,000. Therefore, gross profit equals to 15,000. Well done, my dear students. Well done. You have sent within a few seconds. Some people who may send the answer and some other girls send the answer in very few seconds after I give. Who's sending first? Let's see the next question. Okay, come on, come on. Now let's come to the answer. Cost of sales equal opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Now opening stock 30,000. Purchase, you have two purchases here. Purchase in cash, purchase on credit. There are two purchases. So the total purchase become 100,000. 100,000. Minus closing stock is given to you 31st December 2020, 6,000. Therefore, now we can come to the next point. Carriage inwards 5,000 to be added to purchase. Loading expense 1,000 to be added to purchase. That's all. At 10 deduct, you will get the cost of sales. 136 minus 6, 130,000 is your cost of sales. Correct? 130,000. Now we are coming to the gross profit. Gross profit. Gross profit equal sales minus cost of sales. Then again, sales, if you take, my dear, if you come to sales, the sales in cash, sales on credit, you have two options, two things. Total sales become 155. Cost of sales 130. So your gross profit become 25,000. 25,000. Right. So we have discussed calculation of how to apply in part 2. Okay, ready everyone? Right. Now, a question I have asked here, prepare a statement to calculate the gross profit. I didn't ask you to calculate the gross profit. If I ask, you will do it very fast. Prepare a statement to calculate gross profit. This is how the questions comes in exam. In part 2, the previous calculations comes in where? Part 1. My dear student, this part 1 questions what I explained now, all through the last 2 classes, today and the last class. Last 10 questions in your O-level paper, it's related to this chapter. 10 MCQs. There are 10 MCQs connected to this. If you just go through the past paper, last 10 set of questions, you will understand how the questions are coming. So now the question is, prepare a statement to calculate the gross profit. Prepare a statement to calculate the gross profit. So how do we calculate the gross profit? Let's come. This is the question. Before we come to statement, can you send me the answer now? Gross profit. Now let's see how to prepare a statement to calculate the gross profit. Let's try. A statement. Statement. Right. Can you draw the lines like this, everyone? Everyone, can you draw the lines like this? Make it fast. Make it fast. Calculate the gross profit by preparing a statement. We are going to calculate the gross profit in a statement format. What format? Statement format. So in statement format, if you come, how did you calculate the gross profit? Tell me the answer. Sales minus cost of sales. So first we take sales. Sales how much? 105. Minus cost of sales. Minus cost of sales. See the way I am calculating, okay? How did you calculate the cost of sales? Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. So we take the opening stock 9,000. First column. You see the cost of sales calculation we will be doing in the first column. Cost of sales calculations will be done in the first column. I put the heading cost of sale and these are coming little space I kept to make it easy for you to understand. Can you see? The calculation we do in the first column. So purchase, which column we write? First column, 100,000. Do you have carriage inwards? Yes, 11,000 we add to the purchase. Do you have any loading expense? No. So we will deduct the closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. In between, there is a carriage inwards. So the cost of sales calculation is done over here. Cost of sales calculation is done over here. Therefore, finally, if you add and deduct this, we will find the cost of sale. We will find the cost of sale. So cost of sales, we will add and deduct 909, 120 minus 30, it's 90. It should come like this. You see the style, my dear. See the style, how it is coming. Cost of sales is added, deducted in first column and the answer taken to second column. You can't write in this place, careful. You can't write the cost of sales here, my dear. You cannot write the cost of sales over here. You have to write the cost of sales over here. Understand? Is it clear? So sales 105. Cost of sales is minus, right? Since it is a deduction, I have used a bracket. Can you see? For 90,000, I have used a bracket here. That's a method of accounting. It's a method of accounting. So once you deduct the cost of sales 90, my dear student, 105 minus 90, you will be getting the gross profit 15,000. This is the way we calculate the gross profit in the format which I taught you, right? Same format you have to do it. Quickly do it and tell me. mm, Type that gross profit. We are calculating gross profit, right? To calculate gross profit only, we are preparing this statement. So heading is must, my dear students. Uh, we know how do we calculate the gross profit? Sales minus cost of sales. Therefore, first of all, we'll take the sales. Sales 155 minus cost of sales. But cost of sales is directly not given in the question. Therefore, we have to calculate the cost of sales. How do we calculate the cost of sales? Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. So opening stock 1/1/2020, opening stock 50,000. 1/1/2020 is the opening stock. 1/1/2020 is the opening stock. Therefore, your opening stock, look at the date carefully, 1/1/2020 is the opening stock. Plus purchase 90,000. There is a loading expense 10,000. So what do you do with the loading expense? We will add it. Loading expense, we add it. This is the thing we have learned last two class. This is a lesson we learned. Then closing stock 31st December 2020, the closing stock we will deduct it. We will deduct it. 31st December 2020 is the closing stock. Therefore, once you add and deduct, you will find the cost of sales 130,000. 130,000. So once you deduct 155 minus 30, your gross profit is 25. 25. How many of you got correct? We'll go to a next question and see. Find out, prepare a statement of P&L and find out the gross profit. Quickly find out and tell, listen carefully now. Everyone listen carefully. Now, whoever do this sum, they will get the same answer. I think all got 45,000 answer, right? Yes, 45,000. But when you go for the final exam, if you look at the question, it will be a one-page question, my dear student. The one full-page question you will get for this type of sums. This is a small question. I have given only 6 information for you. But when you go to final exam, you will be getting a question for one full page. So in that full page, it's very difficult to find out how much opening stock, how much purchase, how much closing stock, like that. Very difficult to find. So how to achieve the answers on time? Whatever the question given in accounts, whoever does, they will get the same answer. There won't be different answers. Teachers, same answer you get. But still, the method of answering is very important. Method of answering is very important, my dear student. Answer is not important. Method is important. The sum, if you can do it in 1 minute, you have achieved a lot. If you do it in 3 minutes, something somewhere wrong. It's a 1 minute question actually. The way I am teaching you now, I'm going to teach you now. If you do it, you can achieve that in 1 minute. Shall we start the method? Before we write the answer, my dear, we have to plan the answer. Then you save lot of time. Okay, what are we going to calculate? Gross profit. I'm going to teach you a new method. So everyone draw the lines again. Everyone draw the lines, my dear student. Draw the lines, everyone. Write sales minus cost of sales, one by one. Huh? After that, underline the cost of sales and tell me how are we going to calculate the cost of sales. Everyone, equation. Cost of sales equals opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. Write that equation now. Opening stock, no figures. I mean no amounts in the answer. Just writing the equation. Plus purchase. Leave 3 lines, my dear student. How many lines? 3 lines under purchase and write minus closing stock. Now what are we going to do? We are not going to search how much sales, how much opening stock, how much purchase. Do we have carriage inward? Do we have loading expense like that? No. If you go like that and search, my dear, you will lose lot of time for searching because you are going to get a very big, long question in your final exam. Therefore, what are we going to do? First of all, you see the equation we have written. Second, my dear student, you just see the question in which order it is given. First of all, they have given stocks on 1/1/2020, right? In our statement of P&L, first we have sales. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You see the question, what is given first? 1/1/2020, stock is 50,000. You write that first. Do with me, everyone. Stock 50,000. Second, what is given? 31st December 2020 stock. That means closing stock. So you write that 60,000 near closing stock. Minus 60,000, use a bracket. Third one, they have given purchase. So purchase 200. The order they have given, we have to do it. Carriage inwards 4,000. Carriage inwards 4,000. Add to purchase. Just write carriage inwards 4,000. Loading expense 6,000. Also added to purchase. Loading expense 6,000. Finally, they have given sales. But in our equation, we have sales first. No problem. You go according to the question order. That you will save a lot of time. You will save a lot of time. Sales 245. Finally, the way you did earlier, this answer, both are same. Answer same, my dear. Method is different. We need the method to learn. The method only going to protect you in the exam. The method is important for you to save your time in exam. So that method you have to understand easily. You write the sales minus cost of sales plus opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock. In between leave 3 lines without any amount. Then you start writing the figure one by one, which is given in the question, not the answer. Question order you go through. Now if you add and deduct, you will get the same answer, 45,000. Answer is same, nothing different. So you may ask, sir, answer is same. No, sir, why we follow? No, I told you very clearly. Answer same. Method is important. Do the way that I say, you will save lot of time, my dear students. Okay, I hope you all understand the method. I'm going to end the class now. We come to a question. Everyone, do this question in the method which I taught you now. The way I taught you now, you do it in that method. Method is important. Okay, do the way that I taught you now. Once you finish, say done. First of all, we draw the line. Statement of P&L, rupees. Sales minus cost of sales. Opening stock plus purchase. Leave 3 lines minus closing stock. So this is our plan. So once you plan something, my dear, you can succeed easily. That's a secret behind the success. You plan it properly. Now you see, I have planned these answers before I teach you. So I can just press a button, I can go through the answer and teach you easily. My work is easy now. Sales. Do we write the sales first? No. We write the way it is given to you. Stocks on 31st March, December 2020 is closing stock 33. So we write the closing stock 33 first. Carriage inwards given. It will be added to purchase. So we are not writing purchase. No problem. No hurry. No hurry. Just you write the way it is given to you. You will save a lot of time. Sales 198. Opening stock 45. And finally purchase 150. That's all. If 4 marks given for this question, my dear student, you have scored 3.5 now. Without addition deduction, you have scored how many? 3.5 marks. Addition deduction, no more marks. It's very easy because this is accounts, not mathematics. So what is the cost of sales, my dear student? Once you add and deduct, 170. Therefore, your answer is 28,000 gross profit. I don't know how do you all got wrong. Write a heading, expense. Okay. Expense, if I ask you to give some examples, you will give very quickly. Rent, salary, electricity, water charges, telephone charges, internet charges. These are expenses. Simply you say, what is this expense mean? How do we understand the expense? Expense mean spendings to generate, get some benefit. If you are spending something in the motive of get some benefit, we call it expense. Now some students, they deposit their fees in my bank account. What is the purpose of depositing the money? To get some benefit out of my teaching. So it is an expense. The fees is expense for you. You pay electricity bill. Why? You got benefit out of electricity. You pay rent. Why? You get benefit out of the building. You pay salary to employee. So you get benefit out of employee. So what is expense mean? Your spendings to generate or get benefit in the motive of get benefit. You are buying a furniture for your home, for your house. You bought a furniture. So what is the purpose of buying a furniture? Just keep it in the main hall, closing by a white cloth. Only visitors come, we open and give them. After that, just closing and keeping. Is it the purpose? No. Buying a furniture to get some benefit, to sit in that, sleep sometime, to take a rest in that, people using for that purpose. So buying a furniture for your house, it's an expense. It's an expense. So what is expense? Note it down, everyone. Note it down, everyone. Spendings. Note it down, everyone. To generate, or you can say to enjoy benefits. I give these simple words to make you clear, my dear student. To make you clear. There is a definition for expense for more than 3 lines. I don't want to teach you that. I simply used to say this method to understand the expense. My concept is not the words, my dear student. My concept is the concept. You have to understand what is expense, that's all. Words you can memorize in any books, anything. So what is expense? Spendings to enjoy benefits called expense. Spendings to enjoy benefits called expense. Write examples. Examples. Buying a furniture. Buying a furniture. Buying a furniture. Paying salary. A student asking then salary. Yes, salary is expense for that. Paying salary. Paying salary. Yeah? Sad. Paying salary. Paying electricity bill. These are some examples for you. Expense can be categorized into two. Categorized into two. One, capital expenditure. Note it down. Capital expenditure. Second, revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure, revenue expenditure. Expense can be categorized into two. Revenue expenditure, capital expenditure. Another question coming, sir, what about the discount allowed? Yes, Putha, discount allowed is an expense. Discount allowed is an expense. Yes, it's an expense. Right. So next class we will be discussing about this capital expenditure and revenue expenditure and further more. Until that, never give up. Bye, my dear students. Last class, I explained about expense. I think this is the last area we discussed last week. Expense mean anything you spend to generate a benefit, get a benefit. Is this the last thing for the day? What is expense? We learned last class. Uh, expense mean anything you spend to get some benefit. Anything you spend to get some benefit. For example, you are paying rent, so you are benefiting from the place, building. You are paying salary, so you are expecting to get some benefit from the employee. You are paying electricity bill, so you are getting benefit from the electricity. You bought a furniture for home, so you get benefit out of the furniture. So these are expenditures we call. Last class I gave notes also for expense, right? Okay. Under that subheading, capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means any expense you are spending, if that expense give you benefit for long term, any expense that you are spending which gives you benefit for long term, we call capital expenditure. For example, you bought a furniture. So if you buy a furniture, what happen? You buy the furniture, we will use it for long term, many years. So you get benefit for long term from buying a furniture. Therefore, buying a furniture is a capital expenditure. You bought a vehicle. You bought a vehicle. So vehicle you bought me, you will use it for long term. Nobody buy a vehicle to throw it in 1 or 2 days. We are not that much rich. So you bought a vehicle, you can use it for long term. So buying a vehicle is a capital expenditure. So note it down, everyone. If expenditure, note it down, everyone. If expenditure gives benefits, if expenditure gives benefits for long term, it is called capital expenditure. It is called capital expenditure. Example, buying a furniture. Example, buying a furniture. Do anyone have doubt in this? Please, next one. Next one, revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure means it's an expenditure we spend in the motive of earning a profit, earning an income. Revenue mean income. That's what the name comes, revenue expenditure. You are spending money to get some income out of that. For example, everyone note it down, I'll explain. Revenue expenditure, under that, expenditures spent to generate income. Expenditures spent to generate income. Generate income. Right. We'll see some example you will understand easily, my dear students. You are paying salary to employee. Why are you paying salary to employee? Because you are expecting some work from employee, through that employee to increase the sales and get income. Why are we paying rent and take a building for business? Because of you have excess money? No. By using that building, we expect to do a business to get income. Out of that income, we are expecting to pay some rent. Why are we paying electricity for the businesses? Because by using that electricity, we try to get some profit. By using the profit, we are paying the electricity bill. So no businessman paying their electricity, rent and salary from out of their pocket. They try to earn from this business and pay those things. If they are paying out of their pocket, they are in loss. So they won't continue the business. So rent, salary, electricity, these are called revenue expenditure. These expenditure repeating again and again, recurring again and again. For example, salary you have to pay every month. Otherwise, employee will go out. Rent you have to pay every month. Otherwise, the building owner will take the building. Electricity bill you have to pay every month. Otherwise, they will come and cut your electricity connection. Therefore, these are repeating expenditure. Benefit for short terms. Benefit for short terms. But capital expenditures are long-term benefit. In accounts, capital expenditures are termed as non-current asset. Note it down, everyone. Capital expenditures are known as non-current asset. Non-current asset. Revenue expenditures are termed as expense. Termed as expense. Non-current asset, expense. Understand, my dear students? Capital expenditure known as what? Non-current asset. Got it? Revenue expenditure known as what? Expense. Okay, I hope you understand. Right. Right. Do you have any question of revenue expenses? Revenue expense can be categorized into four. Distribution expense, administration expense, finance expense, and other expense. Revenue expenses can be categorized into four. Distribution expense, administration expense, finance expense, and other expense. How do you identify these expenses? That is the main area in today's lesson. First of all, you have to identify the revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Then in revenue expenditure, we categorize those things into four. Distribution expense means, you will note it down. I don't give notes for this, my dear student. Accounting is like a swimming. You have to jump into the pool of water and swim. Then only you will understand. Accounting is not like just in the river bank you are sitting and watching. You can't learn swimming. You have to enter to the water. Likewise, these expenses you learn, accounting you learn by practicing questions. Through the practice, you will get to know how to identify distribution, administration, finance. Got it, my dear student? Okay, I will tell you some guidelines. Distribution expense mean any revenue expense connected to sales and distribution. Any expense connected to sales and distribution. For example, advertisement. Advertisement is connected to sales. Advertisement is connected to sales. So advertisement come under distribution expense. Is rent is connected to sales? No, it is connected to building. Rent is connected to land and building. Any expense connected to land, building and administration come under administration expense. So rent coming under administration expense. Advertisement come under distribution expense. Electricity connected to administration. So administration expense. Salary connected to administration. So it come under administration expense. Salesman salary. Can you tell me where it comes? Salesman salary expenses connected to sales and distribution come under distribution expense. Expenses connected to land, building and administration come under administration expense. What is finance expense? Practically you will get to know after doing the sums, okay? You will get to know, don't worry. Finance expense means any expense related to, any expense related to. So when you come to finance expense means expense related to loans, finance. For example, interest. Interest is connected to loan. So interest come under finance expense. Bank charges. Bank charges connected to bank. It is also come under finance expense. Finance expense. Other expenses mean which you cannot categorize under this category, we can write under that. For example, some thieves break the door and storage and they steal some stolen some goods. It is not a distribution, it is not administration, it is not finance. So it come under other expense. Other and say done. Okay, right. The question is indicate tick in the respective column. Yes, this is the question. Capital expense or revenue expense. Put a tick quickly 1 to 9 and say done once you finish. Okay. Rent, revenue expense. Electricity, revenue expense. Acquired furniture, capital expense. Acquired a vehicle. Acquired mean bought. Acquired mean bought. Okay. Fuel for vehicle, revenue expense. Acquired a building. Vehicle repair expense, revenue. Acquired a building, capital expense. Interest, capital expense. Salary, revenue expense. How many of you got 100% correct? Some are playing, not concentrating. There is a mistake in this. I made a mistake. I kept a mistake in this presentation. Only few identified. Some are saying 100. That means you all put the tick and you say okay. Otherwise, you didn't check properly. Be careful. So interest number 8. Number 8, interest is wrong. Interest is not capital expense. Interest is a revenue expense. Interest is a revenue expense. Interest is a revenue expense. Okay, my dear student. You know about me. Don't say 100% at once, okay? Check it properly. I will keep twisting the answers. Be careful. Listen carefully. So rent is administration. Electricity administration, advertisement distribution, interest paid finance, salary administration, building repair expense, building repair expense is administration, Insurance administration, that is correct, huh? Insurance is correct, administration, insuring the building, huh? Fuel for vehicle distribution, driver salary distribution, distribution vehicle repair expense distribution, bank loan interest finance expense, checkbook charges finance expense, salesman salary administration expense. How many of you got 100%? Is there any mistake? Is there any mistake? Tell me which number. Tell me only the number. Huh? Let's check your answers. Huh? Some are saying third one, advertisement is distribution. That's correct, my dear. 13, salesman salary. Okay. Number 5, 5 is salary. Salary is administration. Buddha. Correct. Another one saying third one, 3 wrongs. 3 wrongs in which one? Third one you are saying. No. Advertisement is correct. Other expense what? One student say 10 and 7. 7 insurance administration correct. 10 distribution vehicle repair expense. It is the name itself say distribution. So that is correct. 9, one say 9. 9 driver salaries distribution. Driver working in the vehicle. Ajantan. Okay. Mistake, sir. Some say sir. Sir means sir wrong. Everything wrong. I don't know. 7th one is wrong. Ahmad Said is saying sir. I don't know what is the meaning. Another one says 7th one. Insurance correct. It's not wrong. Sir, why 5 is administration? Salary. People who are working in the business. Administration. We pay salary. It is administration. Right? Next one. 10 and 8. No, it's not wrong. Everyone, most of you all wrong. Only one. The last one is the correct one. 13th answer. Salesman salary. Even while explaining, I ask you that question. Salesman salary come under, not in administration. It should come under distribution expense. Salesman salary come under distribution expense. It is not administration expense. This is my channel. You all know, once you see the channel, my dear student, now 287 student. 208 is not 87, 92 it became now. Today. My dear students, once you see the video, put a like click, the click, like click, don't put dislike, okay? If you like the video, put a like. And also if you need, you can put any comments also, no problem. That will add some more value to the channel. This is not money making channel, my dear student. It is something like happiness, okay? Don't worry. Right. Okay, right. Next one. Then we are coming to the next heading. Other income. What income? Other income. Other income means, note it down everyone. Other income. Any income other than sales. My dear student. Other income. If you have any doubts, not now. When I am giving time, you chat me, right? Other income. Any income other than sales. Any income other than sales is known as other income. Note it down, everyone. Any income other than sales. Any income other than sales. Other than sales. Sales. For example, you have a building, 2-story building, 2 floors. Ground floor, you are doing a business. The first floor, you have rented out. So every month you get a rent income. That rent income is your other income. Your other income. So other income means any income other than sales. Other than sales. Now everyone, mark this chart. Example, interest received is other income. Sales is not other income. Why? I told you clearly, other income means any income other than sales. Other than sales. So now you can tick at the same time. If you have doubt, please tell me the doubts. Now And if you finish, say that. Okay. Let's see the answers. Interest received, income. Sales, no. Commission received, other income. Loan obtained, other income. Rent received, other income. Dividend received, other income. Rent, no. Interest, other income. Discount received, other income. There are some mistakes. Can you tell me the numbers? Which one is mistake in my answer? Tell me the numbers only. So the answer, loan obtained is a liability. Loan obtained is a liability. Interest, rent received is income, other income. Dividend received, income. Rent mean rent received or paid? That's the question. Rent received mean rent. Number 5 and 7, check it everyone. That's what I gave both. Number 5 and 7. 5 says rent received, 7 said rent. So 7th one is rent paid. 7th one is rent paid. So it is an expense. Likewise, interest received, interest paid. Interest paid, number 8. Number 8 is interest paid. Number 1 is interest received. So interest means interest given, interest paid. So it is an expense. It is not another income. Discount received, other income. So what was the mistake I made in this question? Loan obtained and interest. I put a twist in that. So most of you all found that. Now come to a question now. Today we are about to learn net profit. What is net profit mean? Net profit is the profit for a particular business. Net profit is the real profit of a business. It's like this. Now you are studying in school, you are learning in class, you have a lot of exams going on from grade 1 onwards. You did a lot of exam, term exam, monthly exam, unit test, that test, this test, blood test, many tests you did. But if you come to a stage, if you go to a job, my dear, they ask, what is your O-level results? They never ask, what is your grade 5 first term marks? What is your grade 9 third term marks? How many marks you scored in grade 10 in mathematics, in accounts? No, never, never. They ask only the final exam O-level, what is your results? Final exam A-level, what is your results? That's all. If you are pass, you are pass. You are failed, you are failed. Likewise, there can be a lot of different profits calculated by business, but net profit is the final profit that measures the progress of business. To make it clear, some more easy for you, we can say so when you come to net profit, if a business earns a net profit, that shows you are in profit. If a business earns a net profit, you are in profit. If the business earns a net loss, you are in loss, like your O-level results. Pass mean pass, fail mean fail. So how do we calculate this net profit? That's the main point for us. Net profit equals to gross profit. Already we learn about gross profit. Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. We learn already. Gross profit equals sales minus cost of sales. So this is the equation to calculate the net profit. Here when you come to expense, I hope you remember I categorized expense into two categories, capital expense and revenue expense. When we calculate the net profit, my dear students, when we calculate the net profit, we should not take capital expenses. We have to take only revenue expenses. Remember that. We should not take capital expenses. We have to take only revenue expense. Only revenue expense. Only revenue expense. So when you come to revenue expense, we know it is categorized into 4. What are the 4? Distribution expense, administration expense, finance expense, and other expense. So these are the 4 expenses we have to deduct from gross profit plus other income. Why? When we calculate the net profit, the capital expenditure should not be taken into account. Should not be taken into account. Only the revenue expenditures we have to deduct when we calculate the net profit. Is that clear? Everyone, do you have any doubt? Yes, expense, right? Now, calculate a net profit or net loss for the following. Number 1. Okay. Send me the answer quickly. Send me the answer for this question. Everyone. The equation says net profit equal gross profit plus other income minus expense. So gross profit 42,000. Other income 3,000. There are 2 expenses given. Revenue expense, capital expense. We have to take only revenue expense. We can't take capital expense. So revenue expense 15,000. Revenue expense 15,000. We cannot take the capital expense when we calculate the net profit. I told you very clearly. So gross profit plus other income 45 minus expense, I said. Some have added together, they put 60. That's what you got wrong, my dear. Careful, we don't be hurry. Check the equation. Gross profit plus other income minus expense 15,000. Therefore, your net profit become 30,000 rupees. 30,000 rupees. Some student, you have added everything. 42, 45 plus 15, 60 you said. Don't be hurry. So answers for this question 30,000. Okay. 30,000. Okay. Is that clear? Okay, right. So let's move to another question, my dear students. For this question, tell me the answer. Send me the answer immediately. Let's see the answer now. Net profit equals to gross profit plus other income minus expense. So your gross profit 75,000, other income 16,000. Under expense, what are the expense we can take? We can take administration expense 5,000, distribution expense 8,000, other expense 16,000, finance expense 2,000. These 4 expenses together we call revenue expense. These 4 expenses together we call revenue expenses. So we can take all these expenses as a revenue expense. As a revenue expense. Don't worry, I am the one who writing. That's what handwriting going like this. Revenue expense. Revenue expense. These 4 together. So total revenue expense becomes 31. 75 plus 16. 75 plus 16. 91. 91. 91 minus 31. 60,000. Your net profit is 60,000. While 60,000 rupees. We are moving to next question. In this next question, first one, listen everyone carefully. In the next question, give me a minute. 60. Now in this question, everyone write. So if you look at the answer, your gross profit is 54,000. Gross profit is 54,000. Okay, gross profit 54 you have written. Interest received 6,000. Rent received 8,000. So you got other income 14,000, right? Other income 14,000 and your expenses 30. That is expense, correct. Now problem is loan obtained 3,000 is income or not? Interest received is other income, no problem. Interest received is other income. 6,000. Some have not taken that 6,000, you are wrong. Interest received 6,000 is other income. Rent received also other income. But loan obtained is a liability. Loan obtained is a liability we learn. So we should not take the liability. Umair, off your video. Umair Nizer. Liability cannot be taken when we calculate the net profit. So this is the correct answer. This is the correct answer for the question. Net profit equal gross profit plus other income minus expense. Loan obtained is a liability. We should not take loan obtained when we calculate the net profit. So the final answer is 38. Those who made mistake, please correct it. Please correct it. Right, no problem. Umair Nizer, no problem. Huh? 38,000 is correct answer. Loan obtained should not be taken. It is a liability. It is a liability. So we should not take here. If you add these three, it is expense. 19, 9, 28, 30. Correct, expense. Therefore, 54, 68 minus 30, 38 is correct answer. Good. Okay. Very good. Right. It's a Shahin's answer, right? All others also correct. Loan, Shad asking a question. Loan obtained is other income? No, sir. Other income? No, student. It is a liability. It is a liability. I think you didn't come to my class on time. Other loan obtained is a liability. Previously we discussed that. Okay. Right. Loan obtained is a liability. Okay. Let's go to another question. Let's go to another question. Now, sorry. This is the next question. This part. Find the answer. Find the net profit, everyone. Once you finish, type done. Nah?